Good morning and welcome to How to Write Science Fiction That Doesn't Suck. I'm Rick Partlow and I'm coming to you from Wyoming now since I moved, which is another reason that I haven't had too many videos coming out lately, and I apologize for that. Life often gets in the way, and as I go on, I find that I've told a lot of what I wanted to on how to write science fiction that doesn't suck, so it's been harder to come up with subjects. I did want to give you an update in case you're following, my personal saga. We moved to Powell, Wyoming, and we just got our first snow this morning, so that's pretty cool. And what I'd like to talk about today is life getting in the way, because I've experienced a lot of that lately, and it's been a challenge. It's not from bad things. I mean, like, a lot of times when life gets in the way, it's because of family illness, financial trouble, having to, get another job. For me, it's been the opposite. It's been kind of realizing, the dream that I've had for a while of moving out west, getting closer to all the places that I like to go and things I like to do. And me and my wife, are able to do a lot of things. She was able to take some time off from working, maybe even retire early. We'll see what happens. But so we are hanging out a lot together. We're going places. We just came back from 3 days in Grand Tetons, and it was just a spur of the moment thing. You put the dogs in the truck and took off, and that's why we moved out here. So it's not a bad thing, but to keep living this way, I have to keep writing, and I have one book due by the end of the year and another due January 15th, and I have to write those no matter what distractions there are. So part of writing science fiction that doesn't suck is getting the writing done. And I know better than anybody how, especially if you're not making a lot of money from it or any money yet, it can be hard to find that time. It can be hard to fit writing in with your life. Now, a lot of people will tell you to get up earlier and write then. And if you can do that, God bless you, more power to you. I can't write early in the morning. My brain just isn't working yet. I have better luck writing late at night. If you work a job that allows you to stay up a little later when everybody else is asleep and get your writing done, that's a possibility for you. If you, like me, can't write early in the morning. If you're a morning person, everybody hates you. Sorry, just kidding. But yeah, get up early, try your writing then, try to get it done early in the day and get it over with. People do this and they can write, 2,000 or 3,000 words early in the morning. Others, don't write as fast, just 1,000 words. But whatever you're going to write for the day, if you can get it done before everything starts, that's a plus. For me, if you get it done after everything's settled down, that's also a plus. My personal plan, as somebody who does this full time now, is I write in the late morning before lunch. I write a little bit after lunch, go to the gym, come back, eat dinner, and then I write after dinner and write as late as I have to. That's just me. For you, you might find other times in the day, but another piece of advice I often hear is to write in sprints without distractions, without TV on or anybody interrupting you for a half an hour at a time, and take a break, do it again, or 45 minutes at a time. And I can tell you that works. I have done that. I get lots of words written. But I also can say that it's hard to sustain. I can do that a couple of days, and I kind of reach a little bit of a mental burnout. Like it's works, but it's not always pleasant. So if you can do that, if you can write solid with no distractions for 45 minutes or an hour at a time, and do that for a couple or 3 hours a day, you've got it. You've got the words you need. But I personally can't do that on a long-term basis. I need distractions in my brain. Maybe I've just got kind of a attention deficit problem where I like distractions. I like being able to have a pleasant atmosphere where I like sitting there and writing, instead of one where I feel like this is work. If I wanted to work, I'd get a real job. So that's another possibility. Sprints, distraction-free sprints. If you want to try them, start small. Don't start with an hour, because it'll be torture. Start with 20 minutes or a half an hour. Do it once, take a break for 15 minutes, do it again, and maybe that's it for the day for you. So give it a shot. It's worth trying. If you can keep it up, then you found your method. You found your way of getting your words in. But now we're going to go to the part that doesn't suck, because that's the writing science fiction. Now we're going to the doesn't suck part. To write well for that period, for that half an hour, that 45 minutes, that hour, or and at 2 hours, 3 hours a day, to write well, you have to, I don't say you have to, because there's people who don't have to do this, but for me, let's say I have to plot and outline really, really well, very detailed, in order to make those kinds of sprints. Because if you're, I do pretty detailed outlines for the most part, but there are books where I do less detailed outlines. I outline everything. But some books, like if I'm writing a long series, and I know these characters well, and I know these situations well, sometimes my outline will be less detailed, because I know what these people are going to do, and I know how they think, and I have an idea where the series is going. If it's new for book one, or like the first 3 books in the series, yeah, I'll write really detailed outlines. And I find that when I write those really detailed outlines, it's so much easier for me to sprint, for me to take those sprints of a half an hour or 45 minutes or an hour and nonstop write. Because if I'm trying to think of place names or character names or the next, series of events that I haven't really detailed in my outline, then yeah, it's going to take longer. And I don't mind it taking longer. Sometimes some of the best work I do is when I take longer and give it a little bit more thought. So I'm not telling you that your way is wrong, or that writing in sprints is going to work for you. It may or it may not. It's a tool, and if you want to try that and see if you can get more production that way, then I recommend you give it a shot. Try everything. If you haven't settled in on your method, try everything once at least. Some things you have to try more than once, because it takes a while to get good at them. Dictation. Some people swear by dictation. They say that dictation allows them to write, 3,000 words during a walk. And then, you take half the time to process those words and make something usable out of them. But I've tried dictation a few times, and my brain doesn't seem to work that way. And from what I've been told by people who have successfully transitioned to dictation, you have to basically retrain your brain on how to write. And I don't want to sound silly, but I'm scared to do that. I'm scared to retrain my brain on how to write, because the way that I've written has been successful for me. I don't want to have a different voice I don't want people to say, this doesn't sound like Rick Partlow. So I'm fairly set on writing the way I am on a keyboard. But there's a possibility that I might try dictation for like a pen name or something where I'm not worried about people thinking I sound different, just as an experiment. But it's gonna have to wait until I am in a situation where I have that time to dictate. Okay. So besides dictation and sprinting, as I said, outlining is a good tool for writing more productively. You can write productively if you are a discovery writer, where you write, as you sit there thinking. But for me, when I did that, I needed more time. I needed more time for the words. You may find yourself different than me in that case. I tend to want to write a very clean first draft where I don't have to go back and make a lot of revisions. But some people are very happy just, spewing the first draft out there, getting the story out, and then they go back and smooth it out. Again, I could try that. I've been tempted to try that. But as I said, I'm afraid of changing my voice, changing the way my books sound, because I don't want people to complain that I've suddenly changed how I sound in the books, especially in series. So that may be something I try with a new series or a new genre. But I think I'm going to stick with what I do for now. But for someone who's starting out, try everything. See what works for you, because some people are incredibly productive with dictation. They can write a book in a week doing dictation. And if that's you, then that's awesome. I wish I could do it. I wish that's how my brain was wired or how I would learn to begin with. But when I first started writing professionally, Dragon, naturally speaking, was in its infancy, and it was very, very difficult to use. And I would have spent about as much time training my dragon as I was writing the book, and I didn't see the reward for that at the time. Okay. Dictation, sprints, outlining. Another key to productivity, this is going to sound simple saying it, but concentration. Being able to focus. It's simple to say you need to focus, because how do you focus? But I'm telling you, there is a mindset, and once you've done it a while, you'll get that. You'll understand what I'm saying. But there's a mindset you fall into when you've hit focus, when you're immersed in the writing. It's difficult to get to, and it's very, very easy to slip out of. So if you get to that focus, my advice to you is don't stop until you're just worn out and you really need a break. Because if you get to that focus and then you're like, oh, I'm going to look up this. I'm going to look up this name. I'm going to look up this star system. I'm going to look up what this weapon does. Don't do it. Don't do it. Make a note. Come back to it. Fix it later. If you get focused, keep writing. Don't let yourself be interrupted from the focused state where you have immersed yourself into the story and it's flowing naturally out of you. Don't try to look up how far away two cities are from each other, or how far away two star systems are, or don't try to look up a character name. Just write in big letters, change later, or something that you can come back and find, and then do that. And then don't wait too long. Do that right after your session, right after you're done. Go back in and change that. But when you have that focus state, it is like a runner's high. I used to run marathons, and when I was training, there'd be a point, usually 10 miles in, maybe a little less sometimes, where you would lose your sense that you're actually running. This is especially true if it's early in the morning and not light yet. You would feel disconnected from your body, and you would feel like you could run forever at this speed. All that you had to do was control your breath. And when you hit that, you wanted to just keep running forever. And you could, when I was training for a marathon, some people believe in only running like 15 or 16 miles maximum when you're training for a marathon. I would run 20 or 21 just because I didn't feel like stopping. Now, some people are like, oh my God, that's crazy. Well, it is crazy until you get to the point where if you're good enough cardiovascular shape that you can handle running that far, the only thing stopping you is your brain, assuming you don't have any injury, like a knee injury or something. So the ability to lose that roadblock in your brain that says you can't run that far, that's crazy. That is the key to running marathons and the key to training for them. And when you hit that, you don't want to let it go. And it's the same thing when you hit the flow state, the focus state, the immersion in writing. When you hit that, don't let it go. If you have to write longer than you plan, just do it, because that's not going to come back easy. Some people have it easy. Some people get that, and those people write like 10,000 words a day, a few days a week. Great for them. I'm not one of those people. I haven't ever written 10,000 words in a day, ever. I doubt I ever will. So if you hit that flow state, don't get distracted. Don't do anything else until it goes away on its own. And if you have to eat dinner in your room or not eat dinner at all, don't think you're going to keep doing that and I have to eat dinner sometime, I'll start. No, you're doing this once, and if you get it once a week, you're one of the rare ones. So if you hit the flow state, use it until it's gone. And I think that's about the extent of my advice on writing efficiently. Well, if you have situations where you are waiting around, buy a small laptop or a tablet with a keyboard, something small enough you can have that in your car and write while you're waiting. I wrote most of several books waiting for my daughter's soccer practice. Have something to write on in situations where otherwise you'd be doing nothing. It may sound inconvenient, but if you have a small laptop or a small tablet with a keyboard, keep it in your car. And if you're writing in your house, email the file to yourself when you're done. That way, if you're in your car, get on that tablet, use the Wi-Fi hotspot on your phone, pull up that email, download the latest portion of the book, and keep writing. And by the way, emailing yourself the latest version of your story is a very, very good tip for not losing progress. I would do that at the end of every chapter. Or if you're quitting for the day, if you're going to bed, do it then too. I do it several times a day. Email's free, usually like Gmail, something like that. Just do it. Email yourself your file. That way your house burns down. You lose everything. You still have the book you're working on. It's not gone. You save it on a thumb drive or whatever, an external hard drive. Something happens, that could be destroyed. But if you email it, it's in the servers and you won't lose it. All right, my dogs are starting to bark. So I'm gonna let go now before they totally go nuts. And I hope you guys are doing well. And I'm sorry it's been so long since I put up my last video. If you want to reach me, it's dutyhonorplanet487@gmail.com. Or if you want me online, it's facebook.com/dutyhonorplanet. All right, thanks very much, and have a good one.